So let's talk about the next speaker for today, right? Her name is Yuva kanagasabapathy, or you can call her Yuva. Yuva is a pharmaceutical scientist by profession, unlike everyone else who's been a designer. She's passionate towards bridging the imbalances between um, all of different societies in our world, right? So she selected education as a starting point, and she believes that education is one of the most powerful tool to eradicate poverty in our world. I wouldn't say that she's wrong. Right. Now, how can she help to eradicate this thing, right? How can she eradicate poverty? So she has started working on an NGO which is named Chotuuki Education, which basically means education for the child, right? The children. And in 2016, she focused on school dropouts, children who were involved in begging, children who were involved in child labor, and she wanted to make sure that they received proper education. Over the past few years, she has transformed this NGO to a volunteer base to provide employment opportunities, and she is also associated with other CSR grants. So please welcome Yuva Kanagasabapathy, where she is talking more about how to use existing solutions for a lasting problem. Yuva, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, team, for this wonderful introduction. Requesting you to just share the video first, so that after that I can take it up. So thanks once again, team, for this warm introduction. So let me first guide you to the video which you just observed. Probably I would take it in the reverse. So our initiative name is Chotuuki Education, and in short we call it as CKE. This is an initiative which we first started in 2016, and we registered it as an organization by the year in the mid of 2019. So, like the team has already mentioned, we focus predominantly in providing education for, especially for children who are begging, and children who are involved in child labor activities, and children who are generally becoming dropout for various reasons. Dropouts, like I said, there are a lot of reasons because of which they become a so-called dropout. Mainly because they have some kind of a disinterest towards education. So that has become one of the predominant reason why they become a dropout. That is one. And especially for the girls, if you see, if they have a lot of siblings in the home, they have to take care of the small ones. So because of that, also they become a dropout. So the reasons are more. So the areas in which that we are currently working is these two aspects which I have said, along with the begging aspects and the child labor. So we what we basically do is that we try to identify such children, and we provide a so-called bridging course for the next 1 year, and then we join them in a mainstream school. So that is what we do. Having said that, in this video we also gave some kind of a data which we have just taken it from public source, like how big is this problem that we are focusing. Okay, so this problem is big, agreed, and we are focusing on it. So, what is the reason for us to identify this particular problem, and why are we working on it? So, that is what I would be showing in this presentation right now. Followed by that, what kind of a solution that we have designed for this existing problem will be the next part of my PPT. And then we would be talking about the impact that we have covered till date and what is our future aspirations. Okay, so already the team said that I believe that education is one of the powerful tool to eradicate poverty. Again, Nelson Mandela himself has said that it is one of the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world like however we want. It can be either a positive kind of a change or even a negative change. Also, so the kind of wordings that is being coming right now in this slide. So these are one of the key reasons because of which we have chosen education as one of the main reason, so that all of these aspects, let it be the financial awareness or emotional related intelligence, or ultimately all of us are working to get some kind of an happiness, and the social awareness which what we are doing right now, and the kind of confidence that a person has to live their life, and also the positive attitude towards life. We feel all of these aspects are somewhere the other interconnected with education, and that is the main reason why we wanted to focus on education. So when we started, how did we exactly do? Like I said, we used to identify the children who are begging, and we used to approach to their parents and ask them, can we do something for your children? Can we provide education? What do you say? They said, okay, you can do it as long as you don't disturb their begging hours. So Saturdays and Sundays, early morning, we used to go because we all work in some professional area. Monday to Friday, we are tied up. So Saturdays and Sundays, we do denote our time for this particular aspect. Early mornings, we go. This is actually a McDonald's which is here in Miyapur, the place where I'm staying currently in Hyderabad. So in the footsteps of that, because the shop will ideally be open by 10 o'clock in the morning. So 7 o'clock, we go there, sit in the steps of there, and then we start doing something in the namesake of education just to get in touch with the students, and we do some activities with them. So likewise we started. So that was a very initial stage in 2016 when we did it. And down the line, we very preliminary kind of a counseling we did to the parents, and we joined them in the school also. So this is one picture I can show for that. And then we were very happy, and we started looking in such kind of an activity in another area. That is something that we started. But down the line, what happened is that the parents, though initially they agreed for the admission, they again went back to the hostel, because we joined them in the hostel with the intention that evening they will not come back to the home and they will not again indulge in begging. So we were very clear that we wanted to stop begging also, along with the education that we are providing to them. So when we joined them in the hostel, what happened? The parents went to the hostel management, fought with them, and again brought them back, and they again ended up begging. So that was one major drawback in our solution that we have designed. So we thought, okay, we have to come up with a better option. So this is one example. Likewise, in this almost 3-4 years back the journey, we have faced so many problems in our practical scenario when we were implementing whatever we wanted to do. So all those kinds of problems gave us some very deep thought process, and finally we designed a better solution, which is what I'm presenting right now here. So in this particular solution, our first phase would be building a trust with the community. So how do we do this? In our aspect, since I am coming from the science field, I have a good connect with doctors, and also I have a good connect with the medical representatives in terms of getting medicines. So with the connections that I have, we thought, okay, let us use it for the benefit of those people. So we wanted to do some kind of a free medical camp. So when we are doing something for free, when we are providing something for free, especially in the aspects which is very essential for them. Essential means food, shelter, clothing, and medicine, and health also comes in that aspect. So when we decided to choose the health as a first option and do a free medical camp. So during that camp, what we did is that we also started doing some kind of a survey. So we will ask every family how many children are there in their home, and how many of them go to school, how many do not go to school. They might lie to us, they will not tell that they're not going to school. So my volunteer team will go into their home and check whether they have any textbooks or not, to verify what they're telling. So basis that, during this medical camp, parallelly when we do the survey, we will start identifying how many dropouts or how many children who have not at all gone to school, and how many of them are in child labor activities or begging aspects and all. We will get to know that, the kind of a clarity we will get, that list we will create. So that is our phase one. Then we go to the next phase. So whatever we did it in phase one, it is connected only with the elder people, not with the children. So the second phase will again start from scratch, where we will try to develop an interest in education. So in this phase, we only try to create a bond with the children. All we wanted to do is become one of their friend, so that they will get a very comfort zone whenever they see us. So that is what we focus in phase two, like playing with them, sitting and doing chit chatting, and talking about movies or whatever they like. That kind of activities we do. Then we go to the phase three. So in phase three, we start our actual classes. So before starting our classes, we first, what we do is we do something called as initial assessment. What the kid actually knows, and as per the child's age, what they should know, that is something that we already aware of. So when we do this exam, we try to identify the existing gap in terms of academics, and the next 1 year, maximum 1 year, we try to bridge that gap through our regular classes. So regular classes, in the sense, here again we had some kind of a problem. So earlier when we had like a volunteer based model, only on Saturdays and Sundays we used to go, and we used to spend time and sit and do the curriculum related aspects, and we will cover whatever the plan that we had, we used to do it. Next Monday to Friday we go to our office, and again we go back next weekend. So this Monday to Friday gap, what is happening is, definitely the children will again forget what they have learned, and again the interest factor will lose. So there were a lot of times where whatever we did previous Saturday and Sunday, we used to again do the same on the next Saturday, Sunday. So that was one drawback that we faced when we had like a volunteer model. So for that also, we tried to come up with a better solution, which I would be telling it once I complete this part. So once the academic related phase is completed, once we are very clear that the bridge, this existing gap is being completely bridged, and the student is ready enough to go to the final school, we go to the next stage. So while we go to the next stage, we also ensure that we talk in parallel with the parents, give them that mindset that, see, listen, now your child is ready enough, they have to go to the school. So give us your kind of an opinion, so where you want to join, or we have some kind of ideas, can we join here and there, and are you okay with it? So that kind of a counseling will be doing it. If it is required, we'll join them in the nearby government school, or we join them in some kind of hostel facilities. Hostels, as in government related hostels, are also there. NGO related hostels are also there. So whichever it is, there is a separate team in our organization who will identify such kind of places, go and visit them, and then we try to finalize them. And whichever student is good enough to be joined in those places, we will map them accordingly. So that is our final phase, where we join them in the schools. And even after we join, it is not that we our activity or our target is completed, so then we go to the next set of students. It is not like that. We have a separate team who will ensure that whether the students are studying there regularly or not, and we ensure they do not become a dropout again. So for that, we have a separate team who will monitor them on a regular basis. Suppose if they become a dropout, it is also bound to happen. We will again pull them back into this model. We will again complete this phase, and we will again send them. So this is what we keep doing. Okay, so before I could go to the next slide, like I said, when we had a drawback in the volunteer model, we were thinking what could be the best option to rectify this problem. So what we identified is, some of our volunteers who are working in their own IT space, or in any other companies for that matter, they try to connect it with their CSR departments, and they try to tell them what exactly we are doing here. And some of those companies came over here, visited our school, and they saw what exactly we are doing, and they were very interested, and they wanted to provide their CSR grants also for taking our model to the next level. So then we thought, okay, we will let us utilize the CSR funds, and why don't we recruit teachers? Whatever we are doing on Saturdays and Sundays, why can't we ask the teachers to do it on a regular basis? Like how a government school is happening, why don't we do the same here, is what we thought. So we utilized the funds. Luckily, we got CSR funds. We utilized it to provide salary for two teachers and breakfast as well as lunch for free for the children. And like a typical school, morning 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we used to conduct it. And for whatever the educational related aspects, we utilize the funds for the same. So why did we have two teachers? That is a very interesting point. I'm not sure how many of you are from Tamil Nadu. So we have a famous director, Shankar. One of his movie, Mudalvan, used to have this concept like every position in the political sector, he used to keep like one youngster and one experienced person. We literally followed it in our model. So we had one teacher. So we kept this kind of a combination and we introduced it in our model. In June 2019, when we idea that we followed. A set of results, I would say. It was very interesting to try it out and see whether it is working out or not. So currently with us, we have one teacher. Because of the corona, things were a little uncertain all over. So we were able to retain only one teacher right now. And hopefully things will come back to normal so that we will again go back to that model. So that was very interesting for us. So, having said this design solution, what kind of impact that we created, if you would like to ask me, what we did is that every year we used to identify 20 dropouts and we used to enroll them in this entire phase. And then we will join them in the school, and there will be a team which will continue to ensure they do not become a dropout. We again go to the next 20. So, that is what we do. Why 20? So, right now, we feel that the maximum capacity based upon the school or based upon our time aspects which is available, and also though there are teachers, we cannot increase the strength. Every child, the age of the child in our program will be widely distributed. So a single teacher or two teachers also, in fact, handling 20 students is a very challenging one. So that's the reason we thought, okay, let us stick on to only 20 and do not go further. So that is the impact which I am just projecting right now. So our sustainability, if you see, it is 70% based upon the final phase, based upon the mainstream school where the children are continuing over there. So next, so what is this exactly is the work that we do, the kind of activities that we have done. It has reached this many places is what I can say. So through our social media contacts or through our friends who are working in different places. So through them, information spread as far as possible, and it has reached this many audiences. I can say this ripple effect that we have created. All we wanted is let it multiply and let it reproduce and let it get maximized as much as possible so that as many dropouts who are existing here in India would get benefited from our program either directly or either indirectly. Indirectly means, so if each of you who are listening to this presentation, probably if you guys have time, or maybe if you can spread what we are doing to your friend circle or to your family circle, anyone who is interested can come forward and say that, hey, listen, I'm from this part of the city, I'm this part of the world. This is something that I have identified. There are a couple of dropouts here. I really wanted to do something, how I can be of any help. So yes, you can reach us out, and the kind of knowledge that we have right now over this 5 years based upon the model that we have done, we are we are very happy enough to convey all our ideas and share all our knowledge to you, so that based on your time and based on your connectivity, we can see how we can replicate the model that we have done here. All these are not like a structured one, so it is bound to get its different shape as per the need. So that is something that I would like to convey from this slide. So next, moving to the future aspirations. So for the next 1 year, we wanted to invest our entire time in setting up a portable toilet in the slum where we are working. So this might sound little different from the education aspect, right? So why do we want to connect with this portable toilet, and what is the rationale behind it? If you remember the model that I showed just a couple of slides back, building trust. So we thought that yes, in this slum there are a lot of problems. Among that, let us select one of the problem and let us try to provide a solution for that, so that definitely it will strengthen our current education model. That is one of the reason why we wanted to select the toilet aspect. Why toilet? Because open defecation is something that it is happening here very predominantly, and considering the number of women who are here, considering their safety and also considering their health related aspects, so we thought, okay, this should be one of the best option that we should focus on. And funds, we already have it. One of the company is ready enough to fund us entirely. Why do we go for portable setup? This slum, it might get relocated in the future anytime. We are not sure when. So if that is going to happen, we should be prepared for it. So that's the reason we went with the portable, so that it can be taken and it can be kept wherever they are going to get relocated. And so currently, the status of this project is we are connecting with the GHMC people, the government officials, to get their signal, green signal, to get their permission, so that we can kickstart this project. So this is our next 1 year target. So 3 years down the line, we wanted we wanted to replicate this model, like I just mentioned in the previous slide. At minimum in 2 slums in Hyderabad is what we feel. The people who are listening to us who wanted to replicate this in your area, we are free to please free to connect with us, so that this minimum two number can increase to how much ever it could be possible anywhere across the India for that matter. And moving to the last, the 10 years down the line, we actually wanted to set up a residential facility to provide a free holistic education. So why do we go for a residential facility? Our entire model's sustainability, or maybe the success, always depends upon the final phase, which is joining them in the mainstream school and they do not come back at all. So that is where our entire success is lying, where our intervention is very minimal, right? So that's where we thought, let us have a full control on that phase also. So that's where we decided to go for a residential facility. And why do we say holistic education? So we strongly feel that academic support is not the only requirement at this generation. Maybe when we were young, our parents used to tell, study, that is very important, study, study, study. But there are a lot of people out there who have excelled in their different careers, but they have never been very much keen into the academics. Each of them have their own unique talent and they have come up in life. So that is something that I have observed while I was growing up. Though I don't have such kind of talent, it doesn't mean that nobody else will have out there. So each children have their own uniqueness. That is something that we have to identify first. That is something that we have to make them also identify. So we have to give them the exposures for those aspects. Only then they will understand where they are good at. And once that is identified, we should be the next supporting system for them, so that they will excel in that particular aspect. So that's the reason I have mentioned as a holistic education. Yes, I think my time is up. So thank you so much again, team, for this wonderful opportunity. And yes, the audience can definitely reach us out through Facebook. I have mentioned the Facebook name as well, Chotuuki Education. We are quite active in that. A couple of people are supporting us in the back end to keep us a little bit active in the social media. So feel free to reach us through that. And in case if you want to support us in different ways as possible. For example, few people are providing financial support for the children whom we have joined in the schools. There are a couple of schools where, especially private schools, we have joined based upon the need. I would say mostly we go for the government school only. In case if there is a need that we want to join them in a private school, then there are donors who have come forward and they have taken up the entire education related expenses and all. So there were a couple of people who are also helping us for the entire administration related aspects. Through the video, you just saw the kind of setup, the kind of transformation that happened to our school. So that directly or indirectly also benefits in the education related aspects as well. The children who come in and the kind of feel that they get it. So you can support us in various ways as possible. So that is one of the 2 3 examples I was saying. So feel free to reach us out through our Facebook page. And thank you so much for this opportunity and best wishes for all the other speakers. Thank you.